So as many of you know, large families eat lots of food. So this week I tried to pull out from the basement what I want to use for the pantry challenge this week. And this is my goal to be used for the week. I have a plan for all of this food, but I think this also will give you a good idea of how much canned goods we actually would eat in a family, like right in front of your face, rather than like me just grabbing stuff out of the cabinet. So I'll show you that. So we have cranberries and blueberries. Okay, so we have 4 jars of cranberries. This is wannabe pineapple, which is zucchini. This big thing of pickles. We have some raspberries there. Here we have some pork chunks and carrots, fish, fish and broth, beef chunks, barbecue sauce. These are sweet potatoes, and then we have a bunch of regular potatoes. This right here is sweet potatoes, and the sweet potatoes and the regular potatoes there. A bunch of canned potatoes, regular. Then we have a bunch of green beans. We have a bunch of canned cabbage, and then we have a bunch of beef chunks here, applesauce, and some canned sausages there. So my daughter made this beautiful dish. It's like almost like a cake crumble type bottom. And then she used apple pie filling on the top for dessert. And she used, I think 2, maybe 3 quarts. I think 2 quarts of apple pie filling on that to use it up. I think we might have done it. This looks like the best that we've done so far. So that is our sorghum sourdough bread that we're having for supper. And then we cooked 2 turkeys today. This is the second one here. Here's the other sorghum sourdough that I did. Beautiful, beautiful. And then we're having turkey, some mashed potatoes. We had the same thing for lunch. So we had 1 turkey for lunch, and then this is supper now. And then some green beans and carrots somewhere. So that is what we're having, just eating up what we had for lunch as well, and added a second turkey and then some bread. Yay. I forgot to take a picture of this morning, but they had sausage and potatoes for breakfast. So my daughter is making some snacks, and these are keto peanut butter balls. So you freeze these, and then she'll dip them in chocolate. Okay, so we are getting ready to do pulled pork. So all of this is pretty much canned for the pork side of things. I have 3 quarts of pork over here, as you can see, and then 6 jars of barbecue sauce. I might need 8, so I put 2 more over there, but all of this is opened. So go ahead. So all the pork is in there now, and she's just going to dump in all the barbecue sauces here. So that is roughly about 6 pounds of pork. And you could make sandwiches out of this. What we're going to do is take and make some rice, and then we'll serve it over rice with some veggies. Possibly a salad. I think we have a lot of salad stuff here, so we might serve it with salad. Mama. Yes, love. Do you need to help too? No. Mama. Do you need to help too? No, you don't want to help? You want me to pick you up? Yeah. Are you happy you're up? No. No, I thought you would be. All right, she's gonna stir that in, and then if we need to put the other 2 in, then we'll do that. We're gonna rinse out the jars over there just a smidgy to get some water in there, and then put it on the wood stove to warm up. And those are the finished buckeyes. And then she also made some peanut something.
I like peanut pretty much.
They're like keto peanut things. I think they're in the Trim Healthy Mama Buck. Is those them? Okay. So one thing that helps save money is to use up your leftovers. So this is what was left over from breakfast. There's 4 sausage and a handful, maybe a cup and a half of potato. And I am sprayed out this pan, and I'm just going to take these and put them in the pans. Yes, my pans are very dirty. I have had them for probably 20 years and cooked numerous meals in them. So, I'm going to put those in. Okay, so I have this here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some leek powder. You could add old onions from salad or whatever you had left over. I'm also going to add some kale powder. And then I'm going to crack those eggs there. I'm not sure how many there's, 15, 16, 17. Those 17 eggs into a bowl, mix it with a little water, and put it on top. Okay, so I just wrap this up and put it in the fridge, and then this will be for tomorrow's breakfast along with some grapefruit. So this is just a little switch up on our normal butternut squash soup. You've seen us make the other one before. But we had this package of bacon. We're going to use bacon and onion. You could use peppers too. We don't have peppers, so we're doing onion and bacon, and she's sauteing this until the bacon's done before she adds the butternut squash. Okay, so that's about done. The kids are playing behind us. We are on our big wood stove, and she is adding 6 quarts of butternut into that. And she's adding some arrowroot powder. And she's going to stir that up real quick, and then she'll bring it in the other room. Okay, we're in the house now. She's just going to stir it up a little bit, and then she's going to add some chicken broth. So she's just adding the chicken broth now. She's going to add 2 quarts of chicken broth. Add some salt. Then that will just get cooked down for a couple of minutes so it's thickened up, and then it will be done. So this morning I am just prepping a pot of chicken soup. So we took the turkey. This is what we have left over from the boiled, oops, there's my finger. The boiled turkey carcasses. We took the 2 that we ate on Sunday, and this is what's left over. So she's cutting that all up. I have this much broth, which is about half of that big pan that I love. So about half of this full of that. And then what we're going to do is put the turkey in there, and then I have tons of stuff that's going in there, and we'll do that in a minute. She's going to chop this here up, and I'll be back. Okay, so here's all the chicken that is cut up, and then I have a bunch of things here. The cabbage has been drained, but the other vegetables have not, so I'm going to work on those. Okay, so I'm going to start off with about half of this. I'm not quite sure how much I'm going to actually use. So I'll start off with about half. Then I'm adding 2 cans of sweet potatoes. Actually, I'll do 3 cans of green beans. And then I'm going to do 3 carrots. See how full it's getting just with the liquid from the vegetables in there? a lot of the nutrition is still left in the water part. So if you can include some of that, then that's always great. Okay, so we have the 3 cans of the carrots. Now I'm going to put the cabbage in. Then I'm going to add some seasoning. So I'm going to start off with some leek powder that I made. This is like home canned leek powder. You can use quite a bit of that. And then I have kale. Again, this is dehydrated kale. I'm going to actually dump probably the rest of this in here. Grab all that nutrition that's in there. Then I'm going to put some thyme in, and I'm going to add salt and pepper. Could you grab me the salt and pepper, please? So these are just the little twiggies here, so I'm going to kind of just strip them off. Honestly, even if you get some of these longer things, they tend to just melt in with the, or be small enough that you don't really recognize them. Did you get peppers? Thank you. Alrighty. So if you're using regular thyme, you'd probably be wanting to do maybe a tablespoon or more. Now I'm gonna grab a bit of pepper, some salt. Salt really brings out the flavor in things, so you want to be kind of liberal with salt. You don't want it salty, but you want to be kind of liberal with it, so it'll bring out the natural flavors that are in it. Okay, so now I'm going to get a spoon. Okay, so I'm just going to stir this in, and then I'm going to put it on the stove, the wood stove there, and let it cook down. And then we'll have some of it today, and then I will can some of this up. See all this stuff floating on the top? Once it warms up, that will sink in there as well. So here is the soup that we have. It looks beautiful. We only ended up doing that half of the chicken that we did over there, so I have the other half to use for something else. So we'll have enough for supper tonight, and then I'll probably put a container in the freezer. And then we're gonna have this. She wants to see what she's having for supper, huh? You want mama? And then some of the bowls are already served here. And then we're just having some leftover gluten-free sourdough bread. So Sweet Pea's having a salad and an orange for lunch. Supper. Hi guys. So what we're gonna do, right here I have some leftover turkey soup here, and that's gonna be for lunch. And then I am just making a pot of beef soup, and I'm not quite sure if we're going to do both for lunch, or we might do like one for dinner and one for lunch. I'm not quite sure. I have a moment right now. My daughter is holding my sleeping daughter over there, so I'm just going to throw this together, and I want to show you guys how easy this comes together. So I'm using all canned goods here. I am going to take my massive knife, and I like to kind of cut any meat almost like you're cutting a pizza into my jar, and then it's easier, easier to do it. I want to say that sometimes I don't know what I was going to say. That was dumb. So I'm just going to cut this one and dump it out. Oh yes, that it's a lot easier. I was like, what was I going to say? It's a lot easier if you are using wide mouth jars, but a lot of times I use whatever I have in the house, and that can be small mouth jars, because I have a lot more small mouth than wide mouth because they're cheaper. And I've gotten more of them at thrift stores and stuff. So let's see this. There we go. That's the beef right there. And now what I'm going to do is, we like our beef stew a little bit more thicker. Oh, my brain this morning. I had a long night. One of my babies is teething, and yeah. So I'm gonna put some potatoes in. I'm gonna leave, usually I drain the water out if I don't want it thick, but I do like it a little bit thicker, so for beef stew. So I'm just running my knife around the edge because they kind of get a suction in there, and then dumping those in. There we go. And then I'm just going to add 2 quarts of green beans. I'm sorry, I'm not very entertaining today. I'm just kind of spaced out. I bought this new like thing for my camera, and it didn't, well, it needs one more component to it for it to go correctly. But I found this other setup that I could kind of tweak together for now, and it works okay. So kind of excited for it. My daughter just put it together and I was like, oh, that would be perfect. Anyway, okay, so we got all our veggies in there. I'm gonna stir these around a bit. And then I am going to add a quart of broth. This is home canned beef broth that I have here. And then I'm going to add some seasonings. Okay, I'm just doing some really simple seasonings. I'm throwing some Abdo in here, which is garlic, onion, pepper, salt, garlic powder, and sugar, turmeric. Yeah, I don't know. Probably not the best, but I'm using that up. And we're doing some salt. And then I'm going to put in just a couple beets. We don't always do beets, but sometimes if you do, it can just give it a good flavor. Almost like a borscht. Here we go. And that is it. So we will warm these up. Okay, so it's the end of the week. We have tonight's meal and then tomorrow morning's meal that I kind of include in this week. I'll show you the cans that we're going to use for those, and then I'll show you what is left. So here is for tomorrow morning. I have 2 cans of sausage and 4 potatoes. This is for tonight. We have 2 of the fish and then 6 of the potatoes. So then the rest of the stuff here, I will share with you what we didn't use. Actually, I'll put the applesauce tonight with the fish patties too. That will work out. And then I'll show you things that we did not use this week and that we have left from that big stash. So the things that we have left is I have 1, 2, 3 cans of meat. I was going to do, we had to leave quite a few days this week, and I was going to be doing a like a split pea soup with that meat, and we decided that we weren't going to do that because I ended up making that big turkey soup and couldn't find enough containers to put that in the freezer. I was going to try to put that in some ice cream containers and put it in the freezer, and that didn't work. So we made that, and we've been eating through that, and we put 1 container in the freezer. So we ate that yesterday. We'll have today for lunch, and put the rest in the freezer. And then we'll probably have, if we have both of those soups, then we'll also have some meals or whatever for my husband for work. So this is what we have. We have the 3 meats. I have 3 of the butternut squash left. The dehydrated ones I didn't expect to use. I've just been using tidbits of them. I didn't expect to use them up. The barbecue sauce, we made some pulled pork the other day, and I wasn't quite sure if it was going to be 6 or 8. And it was actually 6, so I have 2 more of these left. I have the big jar of pickles, which may get opened today. I'm not quite sure. We'll see. We have like 2 pickles left in the other one. And then 2 things of berries I didn't use. So that's it. We used all the other jars, 2, 4, 6. So we have 6 quarts left and 4 pints left from the week where everything was just covered in the jars. Yeah, I can talk. Okay, so shared with you what we're doing this week. Next week is kind of exciting. I think I have the sourdough done enough that I can actually go through step by step as far as the sourdough goes. So that's going to be pretty exciting. Another thing is I went through my freezers my freezers. No, I went through all of my shelves and we cleaned out our food storage. So I actually have a big basket full of food that I want to try to use up. So next week I'll be sharing with you that basket, and then I'll share with you what we make with that stuff next week. So I hope you all have a blessed day.